Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a brand new live episode of the Outlaw Nation show here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Roca. I'm in a mood tonight. That's been kind of the modus operandi the last few weeks here on the show. There's so much going on in the world, and the Outlaw is a passionate person. The Outlaw has these buttons on him, and sometimes people push him, sometimes events push him, and I got some things to say. And I'm very lucky that there's a lot of you who join me on these weekly shows and have fun talking about them. And maybe I am your mouthpiece. I am your megaphone out into the world to rage or to compliment or to be overjoyed or to be angered about the things that are going on in the world. As we start the show tonight, the California recall election is happening for Governor Gavin Newsom. I'll keep tabs on it as we go along for sure. But we got so much to get into as well. We got the unfortunate and sad and tragic passing of Norm Macdonald at the tender age of 61 years old, having had cancer for 10 years and apparently hiding it from loved ones and friends for quite some time. We're also going to get into a little bit of the Penguin spinoff series that's supposedly in the works here off of what's going on with the Batman. Matt Reeves is the Batman. We're also going to jump into that What If mid-season trailer. I did a trailer reaction. It's not going to be up till tomorrow morning. So much to discuss in that trailer, though. A lot of fun to jump into and analyze and figure out. And I want to hear from you all as well about all of that. And then we're also going to jump into this two-pronged story is, do we need the Met Gala? And do we need the cops? Do we need cops to come back as a show? I feel like I'm covering both bases here, sitting in the middle between the crazies on the right and the crazies on the left, because what happened last night, I was triggered by both things. One, seeing all these people in these audacious gowns here in 2021, when people are suffering with COVID, when people are dying. And I know it's for a charitable institution, for the Costume Institute and all that, but there's a way to make this money without being all about drawing attention to yourself. And I did appreciate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's dress saying tax the rich. I'm a fan of taxing the rich, but by the same token, her being there, I'm on two sides of this thing, because I don't think she should have been there. I get her point for going, because the next morning, and I watched on her social media, she was out there voting on these other things, talking about all these other bills that are going on. So certainly no sleep was lost there in going to that gala and then getting right back to work the next morning. You got to respect that. Because even human beings like representatives and senators need to blow off some steam. I respect that. But some of these, some of these audacious things, I don't get it. Maybe we'll talk about it. And of course, on the other side, cops. Like, why are we bringing cops back on Fox Nation? What is the point of that? Cops was absolutely pilloried and vilified over the last couple of years because of the George Floyd situations, because of all those body cam footage showing those attacks on the unarmed young men and women, unarmed men and women, period. Some kids, some teenagers, some young Black female teenagers being put on the ground in handcuffs erroneously. So, like, this is not a show, but of course it's going to be on Fox Nation, which is the ultra conservative station, to put all that. They're apparently going to do 911 responders. I would like to see a Fox Nation show. Let's take a look at the Capitol Police and the people who got beat up by the people who are watching this show. Why don't we do a show about those people? Why don't we do a show about those people being upset about how they were treated by people on the right who supposedly felt that Blue Lives Matter? Let's take a look at that, for God's sakes. So we'll get into some of that a little bit later as well. And remember, the Streamlabs and SuperChats are open. I might play some dangerous games here tonight in terms of the Norm Macdonald stuff. I might play some videos, play some audio clips, play some stuff from your favorite sketches as we go along and do our tribute to Norm. And if we do, I'm probably going to get a strike. I'm probably going to have to edit pieces out, but you're getting the show live. So any support you can send me to offset the ad revenue I might be losing here on the show, I tell you what, I'd really appreciate it. You can send in the super chats. You can send in the Streamlabs. That's right there on the screen. It's also in the description of this video, and I'm going to pin it in the chat as well. Also, as we go along, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy what we're talking about here. And if you got something you need to get off your chest, tell me in the chat or send it to me in a Streamlabs and Super Chats. And if I've got a comment on it or if I know anything about it, I'll definitely have an opinion and we can discuss it on air. Absolutely. So, yeah, here we go. So let's get into all the stuff that's going on. No one's saying I don't need the police, Milwaukee Bucks. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there have been a lot of drama around the police. And so I'm saying we don't need a show where we're going to yet again show these scenes where people who are adamantly opposed to people of color are going to get their jollies off watching them getting arrested, watching them getting beat up, watching them getting tackled, watching them be in the worst situations, because you don't get the perspective from their side of things. You don't get the overall big picture of what's happening and why they were in this situation. So and it's coming back on Fox Nation, which is an ultra conservative station. So something tells me it's going to be predominantly people of color that they're going to focus on arresting and videotaping and what have you. So that's my point. I'm not saying anything about not having the police. I like the police. I respect the police. I'm thankful we have the police, for God's sakes. That doesn't mean that there isn't some changes that need to be made. Just like your dad and your mom and your brother and your sister and your best friend and your boyfriend and your girlfriend and your husband and your wife and your son and your daughter, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin, twice removed, your ex-wife, your second wife, your third wife, your fourth husband. It doesn't matter. No matter how much you love them, there's still some flaws you wish they'd work out, okay? And it's the same thing. Nothing is beyond reproach. No institution, no human being, no fucking person on the planet is beyond reproach, okay? So saying that we need to make some changes here, saying that we need to change how society views certain members of our society, then that's the point I'm getting at overall. I'm going to get I keep bumping into this mic, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it because it's very frustrating. I want to be able to have the mic here in front of my mouth, but I don't need to keep slamming, and my hands move around all the time. So maybe I need a suspended mic from the wire that just hangs, but doesn't cover my face. So maybe I need it from both sides, something like that. Maybe that'll work. We'll see. Overall, it's just a little frustrating. So let's see. White people get hurt on that too. Oh, come on. That's like saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? White people get hurt on that too. Yes, occasionally, but why don't you go tell you what, Milwaukee Bucks, why don't you go down there and watch every fucking episode of Cops, and then you tell me how many are white and how many are of people of color that they're arresting. Just ballpark figure. Go and do that for me and report back next week, and let me see what your numbers are. I want to see what your numbers are. Yeah, I need a boom mic above my head. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to the Raiders. Gorilla Vader saying Raiders win last night. Hell yeah, that was a great game. Yeah, I was enjoying that. Watched the second half of that game. Sat down on the couch. Really enjoyed it. The Lady Outlaw was putting stuff together. She had to drive up to LA again today, just for one day, though, and she's on her way back. But I did pitch her a new segment on the Outlaw Nation show, and that is Ask the Lady Outlaw. So 10 to 15 minutes on every Outlaw Nation show, possibly starting next week. The Lady Outlaw will call me from the living room because she doesn't want to be on camera, and we will have a conversation, or we will have questions for her from you for her to answer and talk about. And if you've been enjoying our stereo shows that we do every Saturday when we break down the latest movies from the MCU, or every movie in the MCU by release order, y'all know she can talk, because we've done 3 to 4 hour shows almost every weekend now, every Saturday. And it's been great. And her esteem for the MCU and her esteem for Marvel movies has really risen as we've gone along through phase 3. So if you maybe tuned out during phase 1 and phase 2 when she wasn't so complimentary about certain films, that has changed a lot over phase 3. She's certainly been more impressed with the offerings from phase 3, except for Spider-Man Far From Home. She really didn't like that. But, overall, loved it. We got into a little bit of Shang-Chi over the weekend, but she was a bit too tired, so we cut the show short. We'll be back maybe next weekend. I'm not sure if we'll do Saturday, but I think we'll do a simple Q&A show on Saturday, and then the next Saturday, we'll do a full-on breakdown of Shang-Chi so that people have enough time to watch that movie. Because some people are still not on board and go into the theater to see it, And certainly some people in other countries haven't even got a chance to see this thing because it's not out in theaters there. Simon Section says, we didn't start the fire. It's been always burning since the world's been turning. That's right. It's a little Billy Joel. Respect to Billy Joel, man. Let's see here. Karen Skepko says, most people arrested on coups are of a lower socioeconomic class if they are not by people or people of color or both. Agreed that it is not something that should be entertaining. I agree. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Not anything that should be entertaining for sure. My third cousin's second wife's uncle's grandkid's neighbor is Haskell 420. That's right, Haskell. Get it on the screen. Oh, shoot. I forgot to bring up the Streamlabs address so I could check to see if anyone's sending in some donations already to start off the evening tonight. Let's take a look here. Oh, did I take? Okay, I didn't take myself out, did I? Chris Taylor already donated. Says, how do you prepare to watch the Outlaw Nation? It's simple, of course. You watch the greatest Western of all time. Tombstone. Ugh. Oh, why would you need that fast food Western? It makes no sense. We don't need. Why do you need fast food Westerns? Get a nice meal. Enjoy Magnificent Seven. That's a nice meal. Enjoy Once Upon a Time in the West. That's a nice meal. Why do you want Tombstone? George P. Cosmatos directed Tombstone. All right. Let me help you with Tombstone. Let's take a look at George P. Cosmatos. And I'm not talking about his son, because his son directed Mandy, and that's a fucking great, awesome movie. If you haven't seen Mandy, do yourself a favor and see that Nicolas Cage movie. But George P. Cosmatos directed this film. And George P. Cosmatos, when we look at his directing resume, let's take a look at his directing resume. What do we have here? He's done a whopping 11 films. One of them is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Okay, give it up. Then Cobra. I can't give it up. Then Leviathan. I can give it up even less for Leviathan. Even though I think that's the first sci-fi movie I ever saw where the black guy lives at the end. I think Ernie Hudson lives at the end of that movie, if I'm not wrong. Of Unknown Origin, never heard of it. Escape to Athena, never heard of it. The Beloved, I think The Beloved, I've heard of it. Nope, haven't heard of it. Let's see what else we got here. Massacre in Rome, haven't heard of it. Shadow Conspiracy is his last film from 1997 with the great Charlie Sheen. Now, 1997 Charlie Sheen ain't 1987 Charlie Sheen. Let me tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. That is straight to DVD Charlie Sheen. So not some good things. So just giving that off the bat. Yes, it did have Val Kilmer. Absolutely. Val Kilmer was damn good in that movie. Kurt Russell was good until that moment when his brother dies and he walks out in the rain. Why? Come on, man. Come on. Nobody in the West did that. Come on now. It's a Western, for the love of God. Anyway, so there we go. Oh yeah, Tushka, you want to compare George P. Cosmatos' 10 films to Tarantino's 10 films? George P. Cosmatos hasn't worked since 1997. Tarantino is still working. What's wrong with you guys? I got to lead you to water to give you context. What is wrong with you? I can't believe you're one of the haters. I'm not hating. I'm a critic and an analyst. And I'm telling you, that film is like old school fast food. Remember, Maria, you remember this. In the 80s, McDonald's used to put the Big Mac in what? Styrofoam containers. That's what Tombstone is. It's a styrofoam Western. A styrofoam Western. You can't get rid of it. It doesn't decompose, and it's around forever, unfortunately. Let's see here. Karen Stepko sent in. She said, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. This might be a Canadian expression. I think it is. I don't know if I've heard it here on this side of the border, but I appreciate you educating me on that. I didn't know that. But I will endeavor to use it in the future. Thank you very much, Karen. Very nice of you. Simon Section says, thoughts on Kurt Russell being the ghost director. I don't know that that's true. Certainly Kurt Russell says that it's true. I don't know that it's true. But has Kurt Russell directed any other film since? Let's take a look. Since Tombstone? Shouldn't that? Do you think because his name is Kurt Russell, he's automatically a great director? I want to clarify that. I love Kurt Russell, the performer. He's never directed anything. IMDb has no listing for him as a director. He's produced. He's written. He wrote Escape from LA. I didn't know that. Jesus, I didn't know that. But he's never directed anything else according to IMDb. So do I trust him? No, I don't trust him. Josh Mabry hasn't worked since 19. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, exactly. So you're telling me there's a chance. You're telling me Tombstone sequel. Oh, Calvin's good to see you, first of all. Second of all, though, Tombstone's a damn good film. Don't listen to Roke on this one. Come on. It's not. You know it's not. Solid? What was solid about that Western? Well, bye. Curly Bill was better in Wyatt Earp than he was in Tombstone. Michael Biehn is wasted in that film. How do you waste Michael Biehn as Johnny Ringo? How do you waste him in that film? Val Kilmer is the only reason to watch that movie. He is outacting the entire world in that movie. He's so damn good. Yeah, we might need to do a Tombstone watch along so I can point out all the problems. As we go along. So there you go. And speaking of which, just to let you guys know, I was on FCL tonight. I had an exhibition wrestling match, pro wrestling trivia match with my friend and co-host of Strong Style, my brother Aaron Turner. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It was a huge fun there going on. And I made an announcement that next week on the Outlaw Nation show, next Tuesday night, the Outlaw will be hosting the Outlaw Nation show. Not John Roca. The Outlaw will be hosting the Outlaw Nation show. And I will have a big announcement about my future in the Schmodown next week. I didn't want to do it at a pay-per-view or a live event. This is my show, my career. I'm going to decide when I say what I got to say about my career. So if you want to come hang out with me next week, know that I'm having a very big announcement. Maybe we'll have an ultra long show, 7 to 10 p.m. We'll talk about all my matches. We'll talk about maybe some of the former competitors. I really doubt it, but maybe some of them will want to come on and have some fun conversations. Maybe some of you fans, I'll bring fans on to talk about some of your matches or what do you remember about the matches and stuff like that. So next week, big announcement, and then it'll be the Outlaw hanging out with you, not John Roca. The Outlaw, John Roca, will be hanging out, so it'll be a lot of fun. No, I did not shed a tear when Paxton died on that pool table. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. You see, I'm going to have to put some earplugs to ignore your take, Maria. Oh my God. Here we go. Are you finally going to provide snacks, send out gift cards or booze? Yeah, I know. I got to send stuff out. I'm not gift cards. All right, let's see here. What do we got here? All right, any more Streamlabs or Super Chats? No, send them in, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we're about to get into the Norm Macdonald tribute, so I might be playing some stuff here, getting in trouble. So if you can offset some of the how can I say this? Some of the income that I might be losing here, I would appreciate it very, very much. All right, so Norm Macdonald passed away today, surprising to a lot of people. He was 61 years old. He had been apparently battling cancer for several years, but as I said, but kept his diagnosis private. Here, I'm going to put up a picture of him as I talk about this because I want to give respect to the man. There he is. Respect to the man. Oh, we got to take Maria's comment down. Sorry about that. There you go. All right. So, yeah, he passed away today. I absolutely loved Norm Macdonald. His producing partner and friend Laurie Jo Hoekstra released a statement saying he was most proud of his comedy. He never wanted the diagnosis to affect the way the audience or any of his loved ones saw him. Norm was a pure comic. He once wrote that a joke should catch someone by surprise. It should never pander. He certainly never pandered. Norm will be missed terribly. For those who don't know, Norm Macdonald was Canadian. He was born in Quebec City, Quebec, Canada. He was a stand-up. He worked on the Ottawa club circuit for a long time before going off to other clubs in Canada. He quickly became known for his sardonic wit, his sarcastic approach to things, how he spoke about the world, and then was seen at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Los Angeles. Some of you may not know this. He wrote on Roseanne. That's how he really broke into Hollywood, was writing for the sitcom Roseanne in 1992. And I bet some of you could go back and watch some of those episodes and catch the Norm Macdonald jokes or catch the Norm Macdonald influence on some of those. And then the following year, in 93, he joined SNL, and he became famous for his impressions and mostly became famous for working the Weekend Update desk, which he did for 4 years. This was the height of when I was watching SNL in the 90s with that cast, with his sardonic wit on the desk. He was fantastic on Weekend Update. And I remember, let me go back to here. I remember when he got fired. I remember when he got let go by Don Ohlmeyer, who was the West Coast president or executive, I believe, of NBC at the time. Yeah, NBC West Coast president Don Ohlmeyer. There's been a lot of debate over why Norm was fired. He was very funny. He did Burt Reynolds. He did Bob Dole. And Bob Dole today, who is still alive. Bob Dole outlived Norm Macdonald. Let that sink in. Bob Dole is still alive, and he tweeted a tweet saying how much he enjoyed. He said, Norm was a great talent, and I loved laughing with him on SNL. Bob Dole will miss Norm Macdonald. So just that kind of moved me a little bit. He also did a great Larry King, Quentin Tarantino. His David Letterman was on point. Those are some funny stuff. But the Weekend Update stuff is the stuff that really got me to become a huge fan of Norm Macdonald, because he was a risk taker. He was ballsy. He was gutsy. He called shit out when it was happening, and he had no fear. And the rumors were that Don Ohlmeyer, the West Coast president there that I mentioned, that he was good friends with O.J. Simpson, and Norm made it a point to go after O.J. Simpson multiple times, even when the story had nothing to do with O.J. Simpson. He'd inject it into his stories there when he was doing the news, because he really believed that OJ was very guilty and wanted to kind of call that out. And apparently Don Ohlmeyer, that was the rumor, that he was very upset about it, and eventually relieved him, saying he wasn't funny, that Norm wasn't funny. And then 2 years later, they asked Norm to come back on my birthday night, October 23rd. They asked him to come back and host the show, and he gave a great monologue, which we're going to listen to in just a second. And maybe we'll watch some clips of Norm Macdonald doing the Jeopardy stuff with Burt Reynolds. Remember, he came back for the 40th anniversary with Will Ferrell, which was very funny. And also maybe we'll watch maybe a couple of his stand-ups. He also had a show that ran for a little while on TV as a sitcom. What was the name of that show? It was The Norm Show, I think is what it was called. Is that right? Yeah, The Norm Show, which ran from 99 to 2001. So immediately after the 98 firing, he's jumping right into doing a show the next year. He has appeared in films like People vs. Larry Flint, Dr. Dolittle 2, Deuce Bigalow. He also did a talk show on Netflix in 2018. Norm Macdonald has a show, but he did get into a little bit of hot water for defending Louis C.K. and his old boss, Roseanne Barr, when they got into controversy for the comments that they made. But he also apologized for some of the comments that he made later, defending Louis C.K., defending Roseanne Barr, kind of maybe saw the light of that situation there. And he's not the first comedian to defend other fellow comedians and be brought to task for it. But, there was so much funny about him. And Craig, who's the Barbarian, who's one of the Finstock Exchange guys, he is a massive fan of Dirty Work. He was absolutely devastated when the news came over. He's grilled me about that movie a million times, trying to prepare me for the Schmodown. It's never once come up in any of my matches, but he needed me to know all about that movie, and I never thought it would come up. And at least in my matches, it hasn't. But, he's done so many things. Remember, he was on Billy Madison as well. He did a voice on Klaus, the animated film that was nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. He was on The Orville as the voice of Yaphet for a very long time. He was on Skylanders Academy, which some people watch, as the character of Glumshanks. He was in The Middle, if you guys remember The Middle, as Rusty Heck. Family Guy, Girl Boss, the Kay Cannon show. He was on that for 3 episodes as a character named Rick. He was on Sunnyside. You saw him in Jack and Jill. He was always in the Adam Sandler films. He was in Grown Ups as well. Funny People, which a lot of people liked and enjoyed as well. A Minute with Stan Hooper. He played Stan Hooper. I remember that show, A Minute with Stan Hooper. Do you guys remember that show from back in that time as well? Casper. He was, Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, Dr. Dolittle. As I said, Dirty Work. Also appeared on the Larry Sanders Show, Frank and Billy Madison. So a lot of things he worked on there on camera. As a writer, as I mentioned, he was on the Dennis Miller Show in 1992. He wrote 5 episodes of that, 2 episodes of Roseanne over a year on SNL. Then he wrote Dirty Work. Then he wrote Norm. He wrote his own series. He wrote A Minute with Stan Hooper. He had a sports show with Norm Macdonald that he did for a year as well as a writer. He also wrote on Norm Macdonald Has a Show, his talk show that he did in 2018. So a guy who was constantly working, constantly doing things. And it was very, very much to our benefit to see his humor and his approach to humor, because that's what I liked about him. He's always like, it was very funny stuff he'd get into when he do some of his jokes and talk about some of the weirdness of the world, the weirdness of human beings, and calling them out. And I always enjoyed that about Norm Macdonald. Let me see here if I've got what I want to pull up. Let me find Twitter real quick. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but hey, this is the game. And I'll just delete this segment later on after we get in trouble, I think. So we'll see. All right, let me share this because this is great stuff. So this is a compilation of times that he managed to work in O.J. Simpson, even though he didn't need to work in O.J. Simpson in these weekend update shows. So let's take a look at them. Oh wait, do I have my background up? Yeah, good. I have my background up. All right, let me play them for you guys right now.
Well, let's get to O.J. O.J. Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do.
Oh, my God.
The most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses or treats.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ.
This week at the O.J. Simpson trial, the infamous bloody glove was finally introduced into evidence, and O.J. didn't help his case any by blurting out, there it is, I've been looking all over for that
thing. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably...
Oh, my God.
You don't get worse luck than that. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, sleepy truckers are responsible for 1,000 deaths a year.
Oof.
In second place, O.J. Simpson at 2 deaths a year.
like there's no reason to throw that in.
Judge Lance.
Oh, there you go. That's it. That was the compilation there that I'm allowed to play. Well, maybe not allowed to play that I wanted to play. But I also want to go back and play the monologue. And this is the kind of thing that he would get in trouble for, or people would get upset at him for, because he really didn't have that kind of filter, or kind of like his approach to comedy was very ball busting. And here's his monologue from SNL jokes, when he was asked to come back and host SNL in 1999 after he'd been fired for supposedly not being funny. So this one doesn't have video. It does have audio. I'll probably still get a strike for this, but let's play it and enjoy some Norm Macdonald overall.
That's where I did the make-believe news jokes, That was me, right? So then, a year and a half ago, right, I had a sort of a disagreement with the management at the NBC. I wanted to keep my job. Right? And they felt the exact opposite. So you see, they fired me because they said that I wasn't funny, Now with most jobs, I could have had a hell of a lawsuit on my hands for that, but see, this is a comedy show. So they got me, you don't want. But now, this is the weird part, right? It's only a year and a half later, and now they asked me to host the show. So I wondered, I go, hey, wait a second here. Hey! I go, how did I go in a year and a half from being not funny enough to be even allowed in the building to being so funny that I'm now hosting the show? How did I suddenly get so damn funny? It was inexplicable to me because a year and a half, let's face it, is not enough time for a dude to learn how to be funny. Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah,
listen to the booze.
Funny
Listen to the
compared
booze.
Well, you'll see later. But, okay, so let's recap. The bad news is I'm still not funny. The good news is the show blows. All right, folks, we got a bad show for you tonight. Dr. Dre, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and Eminem are here. We'll be right back.
Let's keep this going, man. Let's do another one here. I want to do the moth joke. You guys remember the moth jokes? Oh my God, the moth joke. It's the best. So let's bring it up here. I'm probably gonna get the strike for this, but whatever. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. Let me unshare that one and let me bring this other one up here. Yeah, I just want to, you know what? I'm going to get in trouble probably, but I want to play these clips in honor of Norm Macdonald, just like I did with Michael K. Williams last week. You got to respect people's work. I'm hoping you guys can send in some Streamlabs and Super Chats to offset the ad revenue I might be losing here by doing this. But hey, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can. I totally get it. But I'm just here for us all to commiserate on the loss of this incredible talent. This very funny man, this man who really brought us so much joy and happiness, and was, that rare sardonic wit that could keep going over multiple generations. And people were always willing to hear more from him for sure. Here's the moth joke with Conan.
My driver tells me a joke.
The driver we sent to pick you up told you a joke.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell it now on the show.
Yeah, that's how I get a lot of my material.
Okay. Why don't we just have him on next time?
That guy. That guy. No, wait till you hear me do it. So the guys, he goes, I say, I'll be the guy.
Okay.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office.
A moth goes into a podiatrist's office. Right?
You are correct. A moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist's office says, "What's the problem?" And the moth says, "What's the problem? Where do I begin, man?" He goes, "I go to work for Gregory Olinovich, and all day long I work." Honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Olinovich knows. He only knows that he has power over me, and that seems to bring him happiness. But I don't know. I wake up in a malaise, and I walk here and there. The podiatrist says, "Oh, yeah?" And the moth goes, "Yes." And he goes, "At night, I sometimes wake up, and I turn to some old lady in my bed that's on my arm. A lady that I once loved, Doc. I don't know where to turn to. My youngest, Alexandria. She fell in the cold of last year. The cold took her down, as it did many of us. And my other boy, and this is the hardest pill to swallow, Doc. My other boy, Gregorio Ivanilidovich. I no longer love him. As much as it pains me to say, when I look in his eyes, all I see is the same cowardice that I catch when I take a glimpse of my own face in the mirror. If only the cowardice was stronger, then perhaps I could bring myself to reach over to that cocked and loaded gun that lays on the bedside behind me. And end this hellish facade once and for all.
How long a drive was this? Do you live in the valley? Where do you live? Please, sorry.
He says, "Doc, sometimes I feel like a spider, even though I'm a moth. just barely hanging on to my web with an everlasting fire underneath me. I'm not feeling good. And so the doctor says, Moth, man, you're troubled. But you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why on earth did you come here? And then the Moth said, because the light was on.
My congratulations to anyone who stuck it through to the end. So Norm.
What?
We're pretty much out of time.
Oh man. Great stuff. You know, the world is always a little darker when a comedian passes, man. It always just is. The world is so crazy. So many of us, you know, a lot of you who watch me, you're all very in tune with the world. You're very affected by the world. You're very passionate about the world. And when we lose someone who brought us so much humor, it makes the world a little bit darker for all of us. You know, I mean, I remember when Phil Hartman was unfortunately murdered. You remember when John Belushi? I remember when John Belushi died. I remember when John Candy died. When Chris Farley died. When so many comedians pass away, and it's one less person out there trying to make us laugh, trying to help us understand the world, process the world, not take it so seriously, make us forget our troubles in a comedy show for a couple hours, or in a movie, or watching them on a talk show or something. They just help us to laugh a little bit. We remember that laughing is like the best medicine in the world. I ain't trying to Patch Adams this shit. I'm just trying to say, like, laughter is so important for so many of us, for all of us, and there we go. So, are we yeah, Robin Williams. That is, sorry, I was laughing about something else, but yes, Robin Williams, another one. Yes. Oh my God, Robin. People are still recovering from the loss of Robin Williams. I don't know that we're ever, as a society, ever going to get past that, because he left such a massive footprint in our pop culture that we will pass on to multiple generations. There are fathers showing their sons Good Will Hunting. There are friends showing their friends Good Will Hunting. There are fathers and mothers showing their children Aladdin. Those children are showing their children Aladdin. He's just a massive footprint. For the grandparents, they're showing them Mork and Mindy. For the grandparents, they're showing them, films from the 80s where he was very, very funny. So, and then the stand-ups, not to mention the stand-up specials that were incredible. You want to lose your mind laughing your nuts off, or your private parts off, I guess, whichever way you swing. Watch Robin Williams's a bit on golf. That is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. One of the funniest bits you're ever going to hear in your entire life. He's brilliant. So just, when you lose, Dead Poet Society. There's another one. Absolutely. Dead Poet Society. Yeah. Social 1999. Yes. Bill Hicks. Death was massive here in the year. His passing was mentioned in Parliament. Yeah, I remember Bill Hicks passing away, and Sam Kinison, who those two had a little bit of a mini rivalry, because Sam was the yelling comic who was pointing out these things about religion and politics and everything like that amidst his screams. And Hicks was there doing the same thing in terms of pointing out the holes in politics and whatever, but he was being overshadowed by Kinison, who was more of the popular comic. I remember that being a little bit of a mini rivalry until they both passed away as well. So it's just like, Richard Pryor passing away, and the terrible last few years of his life. It's just, it always sucks. It always sucks. Yeah, that what dreams may come. That's a great point, Charlie Unicorn. Charlie, also, I do have ad revenue, pal. It does matter. So you can snicker at that all you want with your previous comment, but ad revenue is important for me to stay alive on the channel and for everything else I've got going on. So when I take the chance to show these clips, when I ask for people to counter the ad revenue, it is from a genuine place, man. So that does matter. So you can LOL at that all you want, but ad revenue does matter. The things they show on YouTube, I'm losing out on the money, because if they put strikes on it, they won't let ads go on it. So just letting you know, just to give you a little heads up in case you don't have a YouTube channel yourself. All right, let's see here. Let's play one more clip here. It's a bit of a long one, so I hope you guys are in for this. Sean, are we still up? Oh, have they struck my show down? All right, we're still up. So let's play this one off of Twitter. And I'm sure I'm going to get smoked for this one because this is coming off the Comedy Central. The Comedy Central thing. Oh, here we go. Is there another one? Oh, no, maybe. Oh, the best. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I guess I'm going to get smoked on this one, but screw it. I'll play it anyway. It is the roast of Bob Saget, and this is 8 minutes. So get ready for this one. Strap in, enjoy this one. Bernie Mac. Yes, absolutely. The real damn macaroni ain't nothing phony. That's true. Absolutely. So yeah. What the fuck does this mean? I'm going to block Charlie. I think we should block this guy. I'm very close to blocking him. So Charlie, you make one more stupid comment, you're out of here. Honestly, you're out of here. I don't give a fuck. I don't have a patience for nonsense tonight. So I will kick your ass right on out of here. I got no problem with that. Shout out. Thank you, Simon Section. Appreciate that $5. Just cut the video show every 4 seconds. No, I'm not going to do that, Tushka. I'm not going to do that. People would need to enjoy this fully. All right, let's see here. Okay. Let me play it and share it here. And play it for you guys. Like I said, it's 8 minutes. The audio is there. All right, let's watch this thing and have a little fun.
Night Live. Now he just watches it. Well, up until last week when a hooker stole his TV. Please welcome the incoherent Norm Macdonald.
Hello.
John Stamos. I want to start with John Stamos, our esteemed roast master. John. Well, John has a reputation for being a bit of a swinger. Did you know instead of an umbilical cord, John was born with a bungee cord? John likes the ladies. It's true. He has a one-track mind, and the traffic on it is pretty light.
What?
John Stamos, it only takes one drink to get him drunk, but he's not sure if it's the 9th or 10th or 11th. And Cloris Leachman is here. Cloris?
Yeah, because they get it. They get that he's bombing here on purpose.
Cloris, if people say you're over the hill, don't believe them. Why, you'll never be over the hill, not in the car you drive. And Jim Norton of here is, of course, probably one of the most colorful characters I've ever met. Colorful personalities I know. You're green with envy, and you have a yellow streak down your back.
Whoa!
Greg Giraldo is here. Now, of course, people always say that Greg's a bit of a skinflint, a little tight with a dollar. But I find him to be a real carefree guy. Yep, he doesn't care as long as it's free.
Wow.
That's what kind of carefree guy he is. No, but Greg Giraldo, I'm just joking him. He has the grace of a swan, the wisdom of an owl, and the eye of an eagle. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is for the birds.
Oof.
No, but I kid Greg Giraldo. If I ever need a brain transplant, I don't know if they have those yet, but if I ever need a brain transplant, well, I would choose yours, Greg. And here's why. It's not because you're smart. It's because your brain has never been used. Susie Essman, of course, is famous for being a vegetarian. Hey, she may be a vegetarian, but she's still full of baloney in my book. Gilbert Godfrey, one of my best friends. I love Gilbert. And what I like about Gilbert Godfrey most of all is his neck. Doesn't he have a great neck, folks?
Oh.
Gilbert, your neck reminds me of a typewriter. Underwood.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's stop this one. I'm gonna end on one more, and I'm gonna share it here in just a second. And it's of course the one a lot of us remember him for, who grew up around or were around in the '90s when he was doing these great impressions of Burt Reynolds on the Jeopardy show. So let's watch one now. All right, I think that's all of them that I can play tonight. Maybe I'll throw one in later on in the show, but great stuff. Terrible loss for those of us who enjoyed Norm Macdonald, enjoyed his unique style of comedy. You know, when you come through SNL, sometimes it can be hard to stand out. You've got to be authentic to yourself and find a place in the comedy firmament for yourself. It's not always easy. Some people go off the deep end like Dennis Miller is now, or Victoria Jackson has gone all crazy right-wing QAnon stuff, allegedly. So to find your own voice, and look how many the comedy landscape is littered with comedians who came through SNL and really didn't do much afterwards, or did occasional stints in certain places. I mean, has anyone seen Sherry O'Terry lately? Sherry O'Terry was the bomb on that show and never could kind of make that jump into something else where she was consistently bringing us humor and comedy. Rachel Dratch shows up every once in a while and stuff. So it's just like, it's so interesting to see who gets to survive and who doesn't. And there was something about Norm's comedy and that just kind of appealed to a lot of people, and the style and the manner with which he was able to deliver it, all of it just got us all on board to enjoy his stuff. And he was a risk taker. He was a ball buster. He was a guy who kind of pushed the limits, pushed the boundaries, and fucked with you and messed with you, and, didn't care in the moment about your feelings or what have you, but he did his truth. But doesn't mean he wasn't a genuinely awesome guy. Go and find those clips where he talks about 9/11, how emotional he is about 9/11. He really had some genuine feelings about that. So, what his comedy was about, making you take a look at these things and exploring these things and kind of exposing these things, and sticking in the poking the eye of the person who maybe is signing his checks, or maybe showing him or giving him the opportunity of the platform. And I think too many people think that just because someone gives you an opportunity, you're never supposed to call them out on stuff. And that's not true at all. They give you the opportunity. What you do with the opportunity is your business. If you're successful with the opportunity, you've now owned that opportunity. There's no longer that person's opportunity that gave you the opportunity anymore. So just kind of saying that, right? Jen Sturger wrote an amazing story about him in tribute to Norm today. Oh, okay. Well, why don't we bring that up on Twitter? I didn't know she did that. Let's maybe we'll read it and give her some love here for what she said. Let me see here. Jen, where is she? There she is. All right. See what she said. Oh, here's a story that the two people that only 2010 remembers. Whoa. It's a pretty long one. Oh, okay. All right. You guys should definitely read it. I'm sorry. I don't want to, it's massive, so I'm not going to read it, but it is something that you all should read. Oh, wait, no, that's the pin too. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. True story. Here we go. Let's read this thing. Sorry about that. I was looking at her pin tweet. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at her pin tweet. What's up, Saul? You in here? How's it going, Saul? How are things? Saul, how are things? Saul, how are things? How are things with you? All right, Jennifer Sturgis says, true story. When I was emerging from the Brett Favre debacle in 2011, Norm Macdonald actually reached out to me to pitch a hilarious sketch idea about older men texting younger girls. It was brilliant, dark, and perfectly Norm. As much as it was my dream to collaborate with him, I just simply wasn't ready to move on with something that had derailed my career and traumatized me for months on end, that's for sure. Norm completely understood and related it to some of his own hardships, but he gave me an amazing piece of advice I only wish I had acted on sooner. Norm told me, the sooner you can own all this shit, the less people will be able to weaponize it against you. Besides, Jen, the beautiful thing about comedy is that it heals everything. She went on to say, I'm truly gutted to hear of Norm's passing, because in a time the rest of the world saw me as a punching bag or a punchline, Norm saw the situation for what it was and showed me compassion. Every interaction I've ever had with him over the years has always left me feeling like I could accomplish anything I put my mind to. This one really hurts. R.I.P. Norm Macdonald. Your comedic brilliance was only second to your compassionate humanity. So pretty incredible stuff there to see. So what is this?
How long does it take you to write a complete weekend update? it's like a really hard process. Like I have to start writing on Monday, and then I try to get it all written by like Thursday, and then I go to clubs, you know, and try them at clubs, which I learned from Jay Leno. That helps, like really helps, because before I did that, you just have all these jokes, and then you question them because you know, and then you try them out on people, and everyone would say different things, you know, that no way it would work, or you got to do it. So the clubs really helps a lot.
Do they ever try to tone down the stuff that you want to put out?
The censor fights me almost every week, but the great thing is that Lauren is it really backs me up on these
Wow.
things I can't even believe, like I have a chance to do, you know.
Can you give me an example of something that you got away with that you can't believe that you got to say on the air?
I had this thing where I just would keep calling Michael Jackson a homosexual pedophile. That was funny, and I couldn't believe they'd let me do that they wouldn't be afraid of a suit on that.
When you are getting ready to do a weekend update, how many, are you looking at a lot of newspapers? You just listening to what people are saying on the subway? What do you do?
No, I read the papers all the time. I was reading them a bit too much.
There we
I
go.
noticed at first, and you get too knowledgeable, you know.
Well, I remember Leno once said that you have to wait a week before you can even make a joke after you've seen it in the paper, because it takes that long for people to get around to hearing the news story that you've read a week ago. And
right.
So
that makes sense. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Do you do impressions?
All right, there we go. I think that was great, and shout out to Jen Sturger for that incredible story. And what a yeah, like she said, what a compassionate human being at that time to give her such incredible piece of advice, and to write a very funny sketch, and to expose in 2011 this idea of dirty old men texting young girls, trying to get in their trying to have their trying to hook up with them. And that is exactly what happened there. So it was very funny, or it was probably going to be very funny, a very funny sketch for Jen to do. But of course, she had to take care of herself first. But it's nice to know that Norm was always giving her positive feedback, positive support, and uplifting her, because that's what you got to do in moments like that when you're friends with somebody, you respect somebody. So shout out to Norm Macdonald. You'll be missed, my man. 61 years old, RIP. Lord knows I know about cancer. My dad died of cancer. Fuck cancer in the ass. Absolutely. Fuck cancer in the ass. We had our friend Kevin Smets dealing with it. He seems to be out of it now. It's in remission. He's fighting every day to come back to the life that he had before. And so we all know the score, and we all know the story of cancer. I'm sure all of you listening or watching have had someone close to them get diagnosed with this. And if you haven't, you're one of the lucky ones. You really are one of the lucky ones, because it is a terrible, terrible disease, and takes the great ones when you least expect it. So RIP to Norm Macdonald, 61 years old. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the unique approaches to humor. And thank you for inspiring any comedian to deliver laughter to us and keep us going in this world, because Lord knows we need as much laughter as we can get in this world. So RIP Norm Macdonald. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on here. I got a couple of Streamlabs that have come through. Rondo Calrissian said, Norm, what a legend. Never afraid to go maybe too far, but always worth it. His humor was still sharp up until the end. Pigeon from Mike Tyson show kills me. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. I remember that one. Also, Norm was set to do a benefit. I think he was set to do the show in New York in November. So he was ready to work. So, whatever his cancer was, he was dealing with it, navigating it and negotiating it up until he passed away. Look at Chadwick Boseman, kept working on so many things for 4 years. I should have mentioned Chadwick Boseman when we were talking about cancer. Him too, such a devastating loss at such a young age. I think 41 is how old Chadwick Boseman was when he passed. So, you have it, doesn't mean you stop working, doesn't mean you have to stop working. You can fight through it. And thank God both him and Chadwick Boseman were able to fight through them to deliver some kind of humor and performance and, influential moments on stage or on screen. So shout out to both of them. Absolutely. Justin Toner says, hi, John. Thanks for sharing the Norm Macdonald clip. So funny. I love the guy. I remember loving his movie Dirty Work with Artie Lang and Jack Warden. That's right. It's on HBO Max right now. Going to rewatch it. Loved you and Aaron on FCL today. It was fun today. Yeah. A lot of fun on FCL. Aaron and I going at each other. ball busting. Aaron, don't want to ruin it, but Aaron got the victory. Yeah, if you're gonna watch it, Aaron got the victory because they asked they asked some questions that were in his wheelhouse, and he was able to come out on top on it. I unfortunately fell a little short in my comeback in the third round to send it to questions for him as well. So yeah, I was one wrestler away from sending it to a question for him, but that's the game. That's the game and the way it's played. But thank you very much for watching it, Justin. I appreciate it. And sorry for the shaky cam. That was all about some issues with the fact that Skype couldn't read my camera. So I was having to do stuff on the desk, and on the desk it shakes. And so it shakes the camera for real. Yeah, that's right. Jeff Bridges also smashed cancer. His is in remission as well. He also talked about his experience with COVID. It said COVID was a huge issue for him and a problem as well. So there you go. All right, let's move on to our next thing because that's all the Streamlabs Super Chats. Please keep sending them in as we go along. We got another hour in the show here. Sean, do you have the Penguin pictures up to put up? Do you? Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. All right, let's move on to our next story here, and that is the Batman spin-off series. It's in the works right now. Apparently, it is centered on the Penguin. Everybody knows Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin in Matt Reeves' The Batman. We've seen the trailers, seen him in it, and that is apparently going to be going over to HBO Max. Deadline understands, this is from Deadline. I want to give some credit to Deadline there. Peter White, who wrote this article. Deadline understands that the project is in the early stages of development and is being executive produced by the Batman duo Dylan Clark and Matt Reeves. And it comes from Matt Reeves' production company. Lauren LaFranc, who recently did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., is set to showrun the project. It's described as a Scarface-like series about the rise of the Penguin character. Everybody knows who reads Batman. Oswald Cobblepot is an underworld crime figure. He has run gangs in the past of the Court of Owls. A lot has happened with him. And has been played by Danny DeVito. And Robin Lord Taylor was really great as Oswald Cobblepot in Gotham. One of the only things that I think I enjoyed about Gotham overall as a series was him. Let's see. So they're saying in the Batman, he's playing a disfigured. That's Colin Farrell's playing the Penguin as a disfigured crime lord. He's not yet the crime kingpin and dislikes being referred to as the Penguin. And he reportedly wears a fat suit and is described as unrecognizable, which we saw in the trailer for sure. And this joins the Joe Barton showrun series, which is also set in Gotham. It's designed to build upon the film's examination of the anatomy of corruption in Gotham City, launching a new Batman universe across multiple platforms. It's focused on the GPD, the Gotham Police Department, and it will extend the world established in the movie and further explore the myriad complex characters of Gotham. So very interesting to see this happening. It's probably in the early stages. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. We all know WB and DC announce shit all the time, and it doesn't always come to fruition. So we shall see. But I mean, a heavy hitter like Colin Farrell, he must be enjoying playing the Penguin in Matt Reeves' Batman to consider putting on the suit for a consistent amount of time or an extended amount of time to do a TV series, not a movie, a TV series. That's going to require more days, more weeks in that costume, in that outfit. So he must be very much enjoying the character if he's willing to sign on to a series, if it happens, but curious. And I'd like to see it because the Penguin is one of those characters from Batman that is very, very interesting. I think it's the Joker, the Penguin, then Two-Face, and then everybody else kind of following behind, in my opinion. Yeah, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, all of that. But like for me, Penguin has always been a very interesting character, a villain as well. And sometimes he's vacillated to be on Batman's side and then against Batman. So it just all depends on the situation. You got to appreciate that. Simon Sections says it's good to see they're not wasting that makeup effect. Yeah, for sure. It looks pretty damn good. I would agree with that. All right. So we'll see what happens with that. Do you guys want to see a Penguin show? Are you excited for a Penguin show? Do you think this one makes you, do you want to see Colin Farrell doing the Penguin thing for a whole series on HBO and Max? Let me know in the comments section below. All right, let's move on to our next thing. What do we got here, Sean? What are the pictures you got to show us here? Is he paying? All right. Let me see what I got here to talk about. Oh, the What If. Did you pull up anything for What If? All right, cool. Let's do that. Bring up the What If stuff. What if mid-season trailer was dropped? As I said, I've got a trailer reaction coming for it tomorrow morning. Don't know if anyone's going to watch it, but hey, it's I like to do these, and the more I do them, I'm getting sharper and quicker at doing them, so I like to do them. But anyway, the mid-season trailer dropped here, and it looks, and we're getting 2 shots of the. If you haven't seen What If, maybe this is a little spoilery, but so you can turn it off for the next maybe 5-10 minutes, but or kind of turn the sound down. But yeah, we got to see a glimpse of the final 4 episodes of What If in this minute and a half trailer that they dropped, and it looks like it is going to end up kind of teasing possibly the multiverse of madness. We see 2 different Doctor Stranges. Of course, we were introduced to 2 different Doctor Stranges an episode ago, in episode 4. We got episode 6 coming out tomorrow night, I believe. But yeah, so this is going to be very, very interesting. With the zombies are coming back, Black Panther is coming back, Captain Britain is coming back, or Captain Carter is coming back as well. We see Strange Supreme be a part of this thing as well. We see Ego in this. We see Howard the Duck coming back as well. We see Korg, who is dancing around doing his thing. The Grand Master is playing and DJing in this trailer. Then we see the Ancient One as well. Hope Van Dyne back again. Ego, the Living Planet. Remember, last time we saw Ego, he was picking up Peter at the Dairy Queen. And Hawkeye is in this as well. And, the last time we saw him, he was in the trailer for Hawkeye, but also shooting arrows at Sharon Carter and Happy Hogan in that episode from last week. So I thought this was pretty cool. It gets interesting. It seems to be like that thing that was teased, that this is a possible setup for the multiverse warriors or the guardians of the multiverse. That seems to be what it's setting up. The fact that they were coming in with all these names in the trailer as they were presenting all these heroes, it seems to me that they're teasing a team up or a thing where they're all going to get together and do their thing. And we get more Black Panther. I mean, people felt like Chadwick Boseman's episode, that was the last time you're going to hear Chadwick Boseman, but apparently he's all over this thing. And I wonder, someone pointed out, hey, Michael pointed out on our last review how Chadwick Boseman is the one who says this thing about, like they echo in life and they echo in death, the people who they don't really die. It's the next phase of existence. And I wonder, Michael thought, he opined, well, how, it's so weird. It's so interesting that he's saying that, considering he ended up passing away a little bit later. But I think maybe Chadwick knew that maybe his time was running out. I'm saying maybe. I'm not saying he did. I'm saying maybe he knew that his time is running out. So him delivering these lines carry that little bit of extra weight as an actor, a little bit of extra weight as a human being, because he actually was feeling these things, dialing into these emotions a little more strongly as he was going through this. And so certainly possible that he knew his time was gone. My dad knew when he was going. My dad had cancer. He knew when he was going. He knew exactly how to set everything up. And he, in essence, coordinated the end, and he got what he wanted. And you wonder if maybe Chadwick knew he was on the tail end of this thing and was very happy to do these lines. Maybe the last time he was going to play Black Panther while he was still alive and what have you. So just very, very interesting things to consider. I'm sure he didn't want to die, but maybe he sensed that the time was coming. We do get some shots of Killmonger, which has been teased the whole season, the stuff with him and Tony Stark, apparently in some form or shape or form. We're going to see that at some point. We're also seeing Black Widow kind of popping in on this on her motorcycle. So what is that going to be all about? Tony Stark, we're seeing the animated section of Endgame where he has the Infinity Gauntlet and he's about to do the snap. Is that how he's going to? Because, Thanos is no longer the bad guy, right? Because Thanos is chilling out with the Guardians of the Galaxy now. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be Loki? I don't know. And then we get this shot of Gamora doing her thing as well. What is her role going to be in all of this? Is Eric Killmonger essentially being Black Panther? Because that's what he's going to be. Is Eric Killmonger's Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman's Star-Lord going to come together and do their thing? Because remember, we see him as Black Panther. So which are we going to get Chadwick Boseman as the Star-Lord from that second episode and Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa? Are we getting both? As Black Panther, rather? Are we getting both? That could be very interesting as well. Unless I'm wrong, I feel like that's who that was. He was Black Panther in that episode. And then Black Widow's be a part of this. Captain Carter is a part of this. Gamora and Thor are also a part of this. And we see evil Doctor Strange with Thor And Thor says something about zombies. So what could that mean? They're in space. Are they confronting the Watcher? Remember in that episode with Doctor Strange, he's the one that could sense the Watcher. He saw the Watcher behind him and even tried to communicate with the Watcher, begging him to stop what was happening there. So what's that all about? Of course, we got Captain Marvel there doing the wink and the smile. So we'll see what her part in all of this is. Right. Captain Marvel makes 2 brief appearances. Neither of them from her cameo. Oh, that's right. She was at the cameo at the end of the Hank Pym episode with Nick Fury there and the Captain America shield. But who is that supercharged picture? Who is that supercharged cosmic superhero flying towards something or someone? Says Slash Film here. So we don't know who that is. And of course, seeing Gamora, what will Gamora's reaction be to Thanos? We already saw what how Nebula is kind of dealing with this version of Thanos. How is Gamora going to deal with this version of Thanos? We shall see. We see Pepper Potts wielding this massive gun. At least it looks like Pepper Potts with the Dora Milaje, and Shuri there as well. So what's their part going to be in all of this? I wonder. And then Hawkeye, as we said, is in this as well. What part is he going to play overall as we see this? And of course, we see the Peter Quill scene with Ego quickly in the Dairy Queen. He is being zapped. So is he being given this kind of thing? And also we see some Ultron in the trailer, the 2 heads being cut off. So are we going to get Ultron as being the ultimate villain? A lot of people felt in the MCU, look, a lot of things are happening here that they're retconning in this phase 4. They're dealing with the Mandarin. They're explaining away what happened with the Mandarin. They're dealing with they've said that Tilda Swinton's character, the Ancient One, will be a different person down the road, and they understand they made a mistake there. So, and a lot of people clamored after the Age of Ultron that they misused Ultron. So is this a way to possibly bring Ultron back into the MCU? Supposedly maybe possibly be the big baddie in What If, but as a way of kind of wetting people's lips or getting them excited for seeing Ultron rather become the villain and back into the MCU as well. So that's going to be very, very interesting. But I like what we got from that trailer. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun with it. And so we shall see. But yeah, if Nebula is good with Thanos, Gamora might be as well. That's for sure. Mark Velbla. I think that's actually a very good point. Here's Goro Elevator. Says, my brother knew. He said his goodbyes 2 days before he passed. We didn't believe in him, but he knew his body. Yeah, that's the thing. You know when you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So we shall see overall. Bobby's son says, my husband loved Norma's Pigeon on Mike Tyson Mysteries, the Adult Swim show also. Yeah. I was at Comic-Con when they did the announcement for the Mike Tyson Mysteries, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I just could not believe that was a real thing. As a kid who grew up on the Mr. T show in the 80s, I felt that this Mike Tyson show had that vibe to it. So when I saw it, I was like, this is brilliant. A, that they got the people to greenlight it. B, that they got Mike Tyson to do it. And C, it looked like they had a really good production team behind this one. So Norm Macdonald, that's some really funny stuff then there overall. All right, let's see. We got, Simon Section says, good to see that was about the penguin thing. So sorry about that, Simon. So we'll see what happens with this one. I'm looking forward to it for What If. And there's only 4 episodes. And then boom, we're into the next thing. So should be very, very interesting. Oh my God. James Lavario, thank you so much for the very kind donation. James says, yo, Outlaw, just finished Malignant. What the PHUCK? Did you watch it? What's your thoughts on it? Sorry if you already talked about it, just tuning in. No, James, I haven't seen it yet. I've been waiting for the time to sit with this, but everybody's been falling all over themselves, falling in love with this movie. And I kind of want to let that die down a little bit and then let my eyes just kind of watch it. Some people like it. Some people absolutely hate it. I've seen critics absolutely tear it apart. Other critics say this is on purpose. This is tongue-in-cheek on purpose. This is campy on purpose. So I'm very curious to see the film itself, but I will definitely do a review of it, I guess, if it's a interesting one. I'm sure I'll have time tomorrow to watch it. I've also got to watch Blue Bayou. I have a screening for Blue Bayou, and I think I have hopefully get a link for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I've got a link for the new Tim Blake Nelson Western that is coming, so I'll be getting a chance to watch that as well over the next few days. So it's starting to ramp up again, getting out to see these films and do some reviews. And I've been kind of like, hey, let's go. You know, when you do reviews, when you do trailer reactions like we're doing here on the channel, I like to keep doing them so I stay sharp. You know, I did an anime one today for Bright Samurai Soul that is coming from Netflix in a couple of weeks. Oh no, in about a month, October 12th. It's dropping with Simu Liu as the one-eyed samurai Ronin samurai there, an anime one with Fred Mancuso voicing an orc, and then a Japanese actress voicing another character there as an elfin young lady who has a wand that changed. So I was like, hey, I'll take a chance and watch this thing. It was only a minute. It was only 2 minutes or whatever. So I didn't anticipate many views on it, but you know, I like to expand the brand, take chances on things. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So if you haven't seen the trailer, you should watch it. Then watch my trailer reaction. Give it a view and give it a like as well. But thank you, James. Very kind donation, my man. I appreciate that. It helps offset some of the ad revenue for sure. So thank you so much, brother. And if any of you else want to donate as we go along, please feel free on the Streamlabs and Super Chats. This is the main show. This is the main show of the Outlaw Nation channel. So I like this show to be able to kind of keep the other shows afloat. So any help you can give, I'd appreciate it. Mark Volblocka sent the super sticker in. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Markville, you're the best. Thank you very much. All right, let's see. What are we moving on to next? Let's talk about the Met Gala. Is that what I have next? I think. Sean, let's do it. Let's talk about it. We put a couple of the photos up, and I'll talk about it as we go along. Sean, there we go. I think that's the Jenners there showing off very bright colors there at the Met Gala last night. A lot of people were commenting on this one, and maybe some of you don't know what the Met Gala is for. Maybe you're like looking at this thing like, what the hell is that all about? Why is this even happening in 2021? And I mean, this is the theme was celebrating American designers as well as cultural, political, and social events that have occurred during the pandemic. That's what that is. The purpose of the Met Gala is basically the fashion industry's equivalent to the Oscars. It sees designers, models, and Hollywood stars gather together to compete for media coverage. The event raises money for the Costume Institute, the only one of the Met's curatorial departments that has to fund itself. So it does raise money. But in the end, what is the point of all of this as well? Oh, it didn't do a 1281, as you can tell. See the difference? You can see my hands moving around. What did I tell you? 1280 by 720. That's an old picture. These are old pictures. These are from another. All right. I'll have to go find some current ones. Take them down. Kanye wasn't there last night with Kim Kardashian. What's wrong? What is wrong with you? I love Sean, but sometimes he's watching the Yankees game rather than paying attention to some of the stuff I need to put up here. Let me put up some of the pictures here from last night. Actually, let's put up the AOC one. Let me see. Let me save this image and put it up here on the desktop. Also, Lil Nas X doing a little Wonder Woman 84 situation. Let's see. Where's another one that we can put up? Oh, yeah, there's J-Lo. J-Lo was killing it last night. Okay. And yeah, Kim Kardashian wore the strange one. Yeah, there's Billie Eilish who was looking. Oh, here we go. Here's the Kim one. Oh, Sean. I shouldn't have sent a guy who's got no interest in fashion try to find the right pictures. I know he tried though, so respect, Sean, respect. And where's the Haley Steinfeld one? Where's the Haley Steinfeld one? I need to see that one because she looked absolutely crazy different last night. We go. Maybe this will come up. There we go. There it is. So yeah, pretty crazy to see some of these outfits, and I'll put them up on channel. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's ridiculous? I've seen some people complaining that it's got no business being on there or being done at all because like in the pandemic and with people losing money, there's no reason for it to be on there. That's Haley Steinfeld right there, if you can believe it. We just saw her in Hawkeye. That's an absolute transformation of a look by her. Pretty incredible look by her that and just unrecognizable, completely unrecognizable. But that's what they do with the fashion design. I mean, look, it's all set up for photographers and everybody to be there. Here's Kim Kardashian doing what she did. This kind of, draw attention to herself by not drawing attention to herself kind of look. So really interesting approach to it as well. Also, this one from J-Lo, looking all kinds of fierce. They were hanging out as well. And let's see. Yeah, the AOC one. Here's the AOC one with the tax the rich. That was the designer. She wore that designer and she wore that. And there's Rihanna over there. I think that's Pete Davidson in the middle, if I'm not wrong, with the look that he's got going on. So very interesting to see this happening with the Met Gala. I just, a piece of me is like, was it necessary? So many people make so much money off this Met Gala with the donations and what have you. Like, we're talking millions of dollars. And there's little Nas X doing his Wonder Woman 84 kind of C-3PO combo, it looks like to me, armor last night. A lot of people were all about it, what he was wearing. So he looked pretty cool. I thought he looked kind of cool. But at the end of the day, do we need it? Did we need this going on overall? I just don't. A lot of people say they don't get the point of it. Yeah, I mean, in the time of a pandemic, when people are dying, people are losing their lives and to a pandemic and having and struggling to pay their bills and having to work multiple jobs. It's just it just doesn't make any sense. And I respect, AOC going with the tax the rich, totally respect that, but it doesn't make any sense to me overall. Why would you do this? Why would you make this happen? I don't understand. And so when you look at this and you're like, well, is this the right message to be sending to people? I don't think it is. I know you all want to dress up and it's Hollywood and blah, but this feels so out of touch. And the charity you're helping is not a charity for like homeless people or for refugees or for mental health or for anything. It's for a costume designer gala. So to me, it's very much about drawing attention to yourself and indulging in that. But these are the things that people rail against when it comes to Hollywood. These are the things that people are upset about more and more during the pandemic, is this kind of excess, either from the right or from the left. They're just sick of it. And when they see it being portrayed in the way that it is in this Met Gala, I think it infuriates a lot of people, and rightfully so. I absolutely respect the fact that people want to not see this kind of stuff. A lot of people were complaining about it on Twitter. Other people who are into the fashion and all of that. And, oh, look who's wearing what, look who's looking fierce and all of that. Cool. But I don't get the point other than to draw attention to yourselves. But I mean, that's the generation now, right? I was watching some show recently and the guy's like, well, I don't want to talk about myself too much. And like, no. That's what you're supposed to do nowadays. That's how you promote. That's how you brand. You have to talk about yourself all the time on all the shows, 24/7, all the things you're doing. And so that's how you do it. And so it seems to me like this is where a lot of the younger hosts, younger people with YouTube channels, they glorify this kind of stuff and they enjoy the looks and they talk about the fashion and all this jazz. But to me, it's the overall feeling and vibe that it conveys that I'm not the biggest fan of. So I think it should be put away overall. All right, dude, take care. Tushka says he's signing off for the night. He's got a roll. I might, we'll see. Yeah. So I just don't see the point of it, in my opinion, for what you get out of it overall. Christine sent in a Streamlabs. She says, Met Gala, more like the Meh Gala. Iman, Haley, and Lil Nas X had the only showy outfits for me. I absolutely agree that it wasn't necessary to hold the event this year, right? They didn't do it last year because of COVID and everything like that. Look, not a lot of people were wearing masks that were there. And I know they were 6 feet apart from everybody, but not a lot of people wearing masks to convey a certain thing. So, yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, seeing it this year. Normally, I don't care, but this year I just felt like, man, why? I mean, hundreds of thousands of people are fucking dying, man. We got people storming the Capitol. We got QAnon going fucking crazy and corrupting people's minds. We got conspiracy theorists. I just was reading about this dude who was at the West Hollywood polling place. He was wearing a Trump shirt and a Trump hat, and he was the one handing out ballots. Get the fuck out of here. They finally got him out of there. But how the hell did he go through all the checkpoints? by the people there to make it okay for him to be a poll worker. It's ridiculous. If anyone's going to cheat, it's going to be those people. It ain't going to be Biden and the Democrats. It's absolutely going to be the Trump hats and the MAGA nuts and the QAnon crazies. Those are the ones that are going to cheat to steal an election because they've been projecting the whole time from the beginning. And so having those people involved with that is just crazy. And that's what kind of brings about this kind of fear and worry and concern overall. And you start to see that kind of bleed out. And so people who are at these Met Galas, they should be using that money or that attention or that platform to be doing something more positive in the world than, funding an institute, a custom, and nothing against costume designers, but there's a way to do it without a gala. There's a way to do it without all the red carpet shit. There's a way to donate all that money without any kind of red carpet shit. So, these are people who have a lot of money, so they're not really in touch with you and I. They're not in touch with the regular people who are down a little bit lower on the economic scale or spectrum. And so for them, it's cool to go out, because my life and blah, blah, blah. But you got to deal with optics, man. You got to deal with optics. All right, Rondo Calrissian says, with the upcoming horror season approaching, do you have any favorite horror directors or upcoming horror films you might see? Enjoyed Candyman and Night House. I haven't seen Malignant. Yeah, the Night House with Rebecca Hall is really good if you guys haven't seen that one. And I will see Malignant, as we said already. Anything coming out soon? Good question. Let me see. Wait, am I under the thing? Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't that thing. Oh, Simon Section also says, thoughts regarding the Met Gala. I'm a caveman in fashion comparison, t-shirts, jeans, sneakers. I'm good. And that's on my imaginary girlfriend. Respect. That's hilarious. Yeah, it is an institution, but it doesn't mean it is an institution it should be devoid of criticism or devoid of it being necessary. To me, it's just not a necessary thing. Maria disagrees with me. She says, I think it is great. The way to make money is to spend money, which any event planner will tell you. Yeah, absolutely. But that money could be used for going towards actual charities, not a Costume Institute charity. So to me, I think there's something being lost there overall in the translation, for sure. Let's see here. What was I looking up? Damn it. Well, oh yeah, upcoming horror films in 2021. I don't know if are there any coming up? Oh yeah, Halloween Kills is coming out, right? Halloween Kills, Last Night in Soho looks really, really good. Don't Breathe 2 has already come out. So if you guys haven't watched that one yet, that is out. Let's see. Malignant. There's Someone Inside Your House that's coming out on October 6th. Oh, Lamb. Have you guys seen the trailer for Lamb? A24's Lamb. Sweet Mary Mother of God. That looks so weird. It looks interesting as well. Oh, and Antlers is finally coming out. We've been waiting for Antlers for over a year. It's been pushed for quite some time. That's coming out. We said Last Night in Soho. Also, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City is coming out in November. There's apparently a Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming out soon, and then Morbius in January. So yeah, those are ones that I'm looking forward to for sure. I'm not a Scream guy, so I'm not really looking forward to the Scream next Scream film. It's not really my cup of tea. I think that one I missed the boat on that one. I don't fall all over myself for that one like a lot of people do. But yes, Halloween Kills is coming very, very soon. Anyway, all right, let's see what we got next here. Or see if I got any more Streamlabs or Super Chats. I do not. All right. Sean, what do we got next here? Let's jump into the cops thing. Your cops? No, what do you got? What are we jumping into? I'll tell you what, just put it on the screen and I'll jump into it. Put the picture on the screen and I'll know what to do. Cops. That's right, Cops. So apparently Cops, the TV show, is coming back to Fox Nation. That's the situation there. And this is part of a deal that is happening after the George Floyd situation. This is now happening overall. It's kind of crazy because Paramount Network canceled the series right after the murder of George Floyd, but now Fox Nation, which is a subscription-based streaming service owned by Fox News Media, has given the green light. Jason Klarman, who's president of Fox Nation, said Cops is one of the most iconic brands on television with an incredibly passionate fan base. Klarman said the company should be showing appreciation to first responders by offering them a free 1-year subscription to the streaming service. That's what they're going to do, saying it's a way to give back in a small way to those who place their lives on the line every day to keep safe. The show will start its reboot with 4 episodes at once and then have episodes premiering every week on Fridays. Fox Nation has also picked up an additional 15 episodes from the 32nd season, which I think was the season that was canceled. Remember, this has been going on since 1989. Can you guys believe that? Cops has been on the air since 1989. That is kind of crazy to think about. I know it was a big deal when it premiered on Fox initially, but then I think I just kind of lost touch with it. Thought it went the way of the dodo. I didn't know who was watching. It was like Cheaters, right? Somebody watches Cheaters, clearly. I would never watch. It's like the lowest common denominator TV watching, but somebody watches it. And I feel that way about Cops. That's the lowest common denominator TV watching, in my opinion. And apparently in 2013, the Fox network canceled the show after 25 seasons, but then it moved to the Paramount Network. So, and Live PD was also pulled from the air over on A&E that was similar to Cops around this time. But I'm trying to find the other story on Cops because it has other shows that are coming to Fox Nation. And you can tell, no, that's not it. Let's see. I think it's the Yahoo one. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, here we go. It's going to anchor a new slate of Fox Nation reality series and specials based around first responders, including 911 on the scene, When Seconds Count, Protect and Serve, and Answer the Call. And according to the LA Times, some of the season 33 episodes will making their way over. Klarman, who just mentioned, says, I can't speak to a larger cultural movement that was happening at the time of its cancellation. I think the content stands on its own. It's a very compelling show for people who are interested in following the lives of police officers. So I don't know. Like I said, I respect the police. Absolutely respect the police. We need them. We must have them. Doesn't mean we can't do some better training, get them more sensitive about what's going on in the community. But to me, this show kind of can corrupt the mind of people who are maybe not the most smartest people in the world. And they're the ones who are going to be watching this stuff and having their brains kind of conditioned to look at people of color in a certain way. And a show does that. A show can do that. And I think that's dangerous, especially when you're dealing with people who aren't that intelligent. A show can certainly do that and kind of manipulate them or push them into a certain mindset about people of color. And I think it's dangerous. But clearly Fox Nation knows it's where its bread is buttered. It's in the red state, the GOP, the Trump people. They're all about first responders. I mean, unless those are the people in the way when they're trying to storm the Capitol. They're all about those first responders and what have you. So no surprise that they're kind of leaning into this because there is an audience for it. You're certainly seeing the audience there for the Fox shows the Fox News shows at night. The talking heads there getting so much money, so much attendance, so many viewers for their stuff. So no surprise. But yeah, CNC says the show is one of the biggest exports of racial stereotypes globally. There you go. Yeah, globally. Yeah. Credits in Canada. I like this. CNC. I like that. I've never seen that logo before, man. It's pretty badass. Are you a Star Wars show? Let me know. Credits in Canada. I like that. Or are you just a show about franchises overall? Douglas says, did you watch Jerry Springer? No, fuck no. I never watched Jerry Springer. I never watched Geraldo Rivera. I saw the clip of Geraldo and the chairs and the white supremacy. Donahue was my thing. Now, it makes me sound like an old person, I know, but Donahue actually asked questions. Donahue actually wanted to find out what was going on in these situations and get behind the scenes and explore the foundation of these movements. Whereas Springer and Geraldo and all those nuts that Maury Povich, they were all about appealing to the lowest common denominator and not really giving much context or perspective or history or foundation to what they were showing you in terms of the issues on air, and I get it. Some people are into it, hey, I like the Transformers movies. And a lot of people who are film critics feel like those are lowest common denominator type films. So I get it. It's just not my cup of tea. For sure, man. Oh my God. When you see someone you actually know in Jerry Springer, it is mind blowing. Yeah, I know Mark Vell, but I ain't gonna lie. But he was around in the 90s. So am I dating myself that much? Just kind of let you know there. So yeah, overall, that's what damn right on Star Wars. See, I knew it. But I like the logo, dude. Respect for the logo. Credits in Canon. I like that. It's a cool little logo, CNC. Everybody dance now. Isn't that CNC? I'm just throwing that out there. Isn't that the Music Factory? I'm Just throwing it out there. Anyway, I'm not a fan of this cops thing coming back. I get that people want to see the show. So, it's a capitalist market, supply and demand. If you have the supply and there's demand, you guys shall meet in the middle and make it happen. So overall, that's my opinion on that. So there you go. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else we got, Sean? We got to cover anything else? What? Tell me. Put it on the screen. Write it down, Sean. No, put it on the screen. Oh, that's right. Amazon. We got to tell you the Amazon story. So this will probably wrap up the show here. And please send in your Streamlabs and SuperChats over the next 20 minutes. If you want to talk about anything or bring up any subjects or hear from me about anything you want to have my 2 cents on. But Amazon is apparently increasing the hourly pay to over $18 there from where it was. I think it was 15 before. And they are planning to hire 125,000 more warehouse and transportation workers in the United States. So if you're, someone who's looking for a job, struggling for a job, maybe go and take a look at this Amazon situation. I'm not telling you to go work for Amazon because I know I've read those stories that were pretty horrific about the way they treated people and what have you. So, but if you need a job and you got to pay bills, maybe take a look at this. They would pay a sign-in bonus of $3,000 on some locations, and the hourly wage could go up to $22.50. So, Amazon did set their hourly minimum wage at $15, which a lot of people are, kind of pushing for across the board in the Senate. And Amazon said it would pay around $17 in average salaries or hourly wages. The company is hiring to run the 100 logistic facilities will launch this month in the United States. And retailers are scrambling to hire hourly workers in a tight labor market. No surprise here. I want to bring up something else here that is connected to this. And how much, let's see, did Bezos make in the pandemic? I'm kind of insane. Bezos, the world has both okay. Wow. So since January of 2020, and this is coming from an article in April of this year, he made $86 billion more, $86 billion increase in his fortune. So that is a little bit mind-blowing to see how much they have been spending. So, and people are now spending more money at Amazon than at Walmart. That was the report a few weeks ago. And of course, Elon Musk also, his net worth rose 600% to $175 billion during the pandemic. So that's just crazy. People were able to take advantage of the situation where everybody's just kind of lying around and making their money. So just nuts. So I'm glad they're paying more money. Maybe they'll work on the working conditions as well and help people overall survive and be able to pay their bills, but we'll see. All right, here we go. Simon Section says, did you remember the Donahue Show where public figures around the world voiced their opinions on how they dislike America? Yeah, I did. I remember that from a long time ago. I did, absolutely, Simon Section. Thank you very much. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Morning says Bezos doesn't run Amazon. What? Bezos runs Amazon. What are you talking about? Corella Vader says, good night, everyone. I'm going to go to apply for Amazon. No. I didn't tell you to go apply. I'm saying if you're desperate for a job, these are possibilities that are open. I'm not telling you to go. Don't blame me. I don't want any responsibility for anybody going over to work over there. So just kind of giving you my 2 cents overall. All right, let's wrap it up there. I'm going to call it a little bit of an early night. I got to head on off. The lady just came back, so I want to hang out with my girl. I'll let you guys know tomorrow I'm doing, by the way, 4 new pairs of tickets came to me for Shang-Chi today from Fandango, and I sent them on to 4 of the people who had not won when I did the giveaway, I think a week ago. But I have a new giveaway tomorrow, Fast 9. I'm giving away both physical copies of Fast 9 and digital codes to Fast 9. So we'll be doing a contest. And if you want to enter to win, here's a key. If you don't follow me, you're not going to win. I'm not going to pick someone who doesn't even subscribe to any of my social media channels. Why the hell would I do that? That makes no sense. The few people that didn't win the Shang-Chi thing, I went and checked, and they were not following me at all. And I was like, well, what are you, crazy? I'm not going to, kind of give you the tickets if you don't even follow me on social media. Where's the benefit of that? So I'll certainly make that a point that you have to follow me and leave a comment there, or do something unique and different with that. So, all right. Well, thanks to Sean Barreto for helping me produce the show tonight. I'm just wrecked from a very busy day of doing all kinds of things. Back at it tomorrow morning with more work doing here on the channel and podcast stuff. Working on working on Cinephiles, working on Geek Buddies tomorrow. Also doing a couple things in the morning. And I've got an interview for a Schmodown show tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I need my rest. All right, you all are amazing. I love you madly. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the Streamlabs and the Super Chats. And remember, next week, 7 p.m. I think we'll go 7 p.m. PT. Big show with the Outlaw hosting the show and giving an announcement about his Schmodown future for sure. So you guys are the best. Much love to you. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Wear that mask. Practice social distancing. If you haven't gotten vaccinated, go get vaccinated. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be one of these people that doesn't tell you to get vaccinated. Go get vaccinated. And remember how I end the show? I end the show as I end every show. Whatever you need to do, get through the next second, next minute, next hour, next day, next week, next month, and next year. I want you to do that. You never know what's waiting for you on the other side. It could surprise the hell out of you and change your life. So I'm telling you, I love you. Be cool to yourselves. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new live episode next week of the Outlaw Nation channel. Peace, peace, peace.